Did you know that Satan fought hard over the body of Moses after his death? Why would he do that? This is Moses, the man who brought the Israelites out of Egypt, parted the Red Sea, led them through the wilderness for 40 years. But because of one act of disobedience, God did not allow him to enter the promised land. But God personally buried Moses in the land of Moab, and to this day, no one knows where he is. And what happens next is one of the greatest mysteries in the Bible. Let's read together. This is Jude chapter 1, verse 9. And it says, "But even Michael, one of the mightiest of the angels, did not dare accuse the devil of blasphemy, but simply said, 'The Lord rebuke you.' This took place when Michael was arguing with the devil about Moses' body." What? So Satan wanted to get the body of Moses. Why would he want that? And did he get it? And the answer is no. Because Michael contended with him. Michael came down and fought over the body of Moses. And he said, "The Lord rebuke you." And in that very moment, victory was sealed. Michael didn't fight in his own power. He invoked God's authority, and that authority silenced the accuser, just like it did in Zechariah chapter 3, verse 2, where the Lord says, "The Lord rebuke you, O Satan." Also, when we read in Deuteronomy chapter 34, verses 5 and 6, it shows that the body of Moses stayed hidden and protected, proving that God had the final word. But the question remains, why would Satan want Moses' body so badly? A lot of people believe that it was because Satan wanted to turn the body of Moses into some sort of an idol. And the Israelites had this history. They had already shown a pattern of worship and created things like the golden calf, like the bronze serpent, and Satan could have used Moses' body, his grave, as another object of false worship to pull people away from God. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Later, we read about Jesus at the Transfiguration, where he meets Moses and Elijah, if you remember. This is a vision that is given to the disciples as a prophetic glimpse of Jesus' future glory and fulfillment of the law and the prophets, symbolized by Moses and Elijah. Some say that Satan wanted to steal Moses' body to prevent this from happening, but this was a vision. It's very important to note that this was a vision. It wasn't really happening. It wasn't a resurrection yet. Moses' physical body was still somewhere buried in the valley of Moab. But could there still be a connection between that mysterious battle between Satan and Michael over the body of Moses and his later appearance at the Transfiguration? Satan may have understood that God wanted to use Moses again, even symbolically, as a representative of the law, standing right next to Jesus, the fulfillment of that law, and he wanted to corrupt or defile his body to sabotage that prophetic moment. Remember, Satan, he always tries to distort what God has sanctified, like the garden, like the rainbow, like the temple. But what we know for sure is this, that even though Moses had disobeyed God, and he did not enter the promised land, even in death, God protected his friend. Satan couldn't touch him, just like he couldn't touch Job beyond what God allowed. And this is just a beautiful reminder that God guards what belongs to him, body, soul, and spirit. So let's remember that same truth applies to our lives. No matter how fiercely the enemy is fighting right now, God's power always prevails. So let's stay faithful. Let's keep our worship pure, and let's remember that God's got this, and his grace, his love, and his power cover you, just as he covered his friend Moses.